Hi, this is David Potter, and I've got your plan here. And the first thing I do when I look at plans by new people is uh, how they did their default settings. So I've got a saved camera here. I'm gonna open it up and illustrate what I'm talking about. You got the ceiling on the first floor here set at 7 feet. But I'm 6'5", and that just wouldn't work for me. And the second floor is set to a little over 11 feet, which doesn't make any sense to me. Be that as it may, we got this wall sticking through here because you've got no overhang on your gambrel roof, and you got to have overhang in order to cut off those walls. So that's why when you look at this in an overview, that wall's not being cut off by the roof back here. See, all you have to do is take this section here and just pull it down a little bit. Okay, see, I cut the wall off. Now we got a shower and a tub and like part of a bed sticking through the roof because that was just bad planning. You can't, on this kind of roof, you can't shove things against the wall because there's no headroom for that. So you're going to have to redesign the second floor to take that into consideration. Now, in terms of this porch roof here, really the first thing we need to straighten out is, let's go to Edit Default Settings, Floor. And you've got it set to 8 feet, but the model's not doing that. I just showed you that in this camera here, we don't have 9 feet on the first floor. We have 7 feet. So your cabinets are sticking up through the floor cavity of the floor platform that holds up the second floor. So your model's kind of goofy from the get-go. It's a good job on the rest of it, but just lots of new users just don't pay any attention to the defaults, and the defaults determine hours of wasted time or a successful product. I think I've demonstrated that. Okay, so let's just check some of these room dialog boxes. See, oh, you've unchecked the defaults, and so things are just going all over the place. So, see, if I check default, then it goes back to 9 feet. Now, in Home Designer Pro, you'd have to open each dialog box and fix that. You can't have a 11-foot ceiling when everything's set. So you set your default settings, and then the software pretty much does the work. But you have to think this through and work with the software and not against it. Let's see what this says. See, I don't know where this is coming from. This must be something that you did, and it's not very smart, because that's not the way the software is designed to work. I'm going to reset all these room dialog boxes to the 9 foot. Now, if you wanted 8 foot, then you should have said so. But working against the defaults just makes your job a lot harder to do. Working with the defaults makes your job a lot more efficient and easier to do. Now, let's take a look at this. Since I've done that, well, that floor platform didn't move. Now this changed up here on the second floor, but I haven't even done the second floor yet. So I'm not really interested in this figure. I'm interested in, this needs to be up at the 9 foot level, unless you're Munchkins, and Munchkin's going to live in this house. So I'm going to go over here to the build roof dialog. I'm not going to rebuild roofs, but I'm just going to rebuild walls, floors, and ceilings. And I'm going to check this again. Well, it hadn't moved an inch. I would say that this plan is corrupted, then. It's not following orders. Over default settings, floor. Yeah, that's finished ceilings at 107 and 5, basically 9 feet. The software is no longer following orders. And that's what the room dialog box says, but that's not what it's doing. Yeah, it's just still stuck at 7 feet. So, I'm going to go here to edit. Now, this is in Chief Architect Premiere. It's not Pro, so it's got more bells and whistles. I'm going to go reset to defaults. And I haven't even looked at the second floor, so that's the reason I just, wait a minute, I guess I should I better check that. Here, oh, I see. It was my bad. I was on the second floor. I thought I was on the first. All right, let's go to edit default settings, or reset the defaults. All floors. Okay. Now we'll go to the second floor and see what the second floor defaults are set to. I should have done this first. That's okay. Okay, it's set to 9 feet as well, which is fine. Now I'm going to check this elevation camera again. That first floor platform is just stuck at 7 feet. Let me check. Oh, maybe that's the basement. Let me see what this says. Well, this isn't going to apply if you intend to have any basement at all. I haven't even paid any attention to that. Let me take a look at this. Okay, it's just a foundation. There's no basement. All right, fine. So, for the first, this is the first floor. And it's set to 9 feet. And I can't get it to move to 9 feet. Until I do, there's no point in going forward with this model because it's useless. It's relationally incorrect. Okay, part of this may be caused by the roofs. Take a look at that. See, the roofs aren't going to automatically update. Yeah, see, the roofs stay put. I'm just going to draw a CAD line here and put it on the floor, the first floor. Now, what I'm going to do next, you can do in Pro. You just, to the Edit toolbar, you go to the Transform Replicate tool. I'm going to move that line up 9 feet. So it'll show me where the floor platform for the, see, that's where the bottom of the floor platform should be, and it's not. So that camera viewpoint, oh, I probably missed this dialog here. What does it say? Oh, I see. All right. When you start using this software and you don't know how to use it, you haven't studied how to use it, this is what you get. You get a bunch of wasted time and not what you wanted to see. There's a tool I could do this faster in Premiere, but I'm not going to do it because you don't have Premiere. There's no point in me showing you Premiere features. Okay, the rest of it seems to be set to and following defaults, at least in the room dialog boxes. Oh, I found another one. Okay, I'm going to go back up and rebuild walls, floors, and ceilings and see if I can get this thing to start acting right. Come on. Let me go back to that. Ah, finally got part of it to move. Okay. Now I need to figure out what this space is and why it's not moving. Let's see. Guess it'd be here, wouldn't it? No, that's not it. Well, let me see about the second floor. So this is, okay, found another default that was unchecked. That's death on trying to get anything done. That's the reason I'm checking for it. I mean, if the software's not following your orders, you're wasting your time. I know this is kind of tedious, but it's necessary. Oh, there's another one. Probably what I was seeing in that elevation camera, that these room dialog boxes that are improperly set. Okay. Okay. Let's go back to that camera. Come on, what's this? What's the name of that room? Bedroom. Okay. Let's see, so I guess that would be this one. No, that dialog box looks all right. Oh, there are more defaults unchecked. Let's see if that got it. Yeah, kind of. This is all showing one floor plan. Now look, we got some kind of problem here, but I can't tell with that viewpoint, so I'm going to create another camera in here. Yeah, we still got a problem here. What's this? Master bedroom. Okay. It's a really small master bedroom, by the way. Ah, there they are. There we go. So now we've got a 9-foot first floor and a 9-foot second floor spatially in the model. And now I can also measure how much I have to raise the roofs. I'm going to measure from where the plate currently is right here to where I need it to be up here. What is that? I can't read the display. About 39 inches. Okay. So I want you to watch this. Probably never occurred to you to do this. I'm going to click on that roof plane, hold the shift key down and click on this one and that one and that one until I get a group select. Now I'm going to use transform replicate to erase those selected objects 39 inches. So we get the roofs in the proper condition relative to the floor and ceiling heights. Now this room here on the second floor, close that. I think it's this room here. For some reason it has no ceiling in it. Yeah, you took the ceiling out. I put it back. Okay, that looks better. I mean, maybe you want this up where it goes, but now let's take a look at the roofs. I'm going to turn the roof planes on. Roof planes, roof baselines. I need the baselines on and the roof planes. And I guess you drew them on the first floor. Yeah, you did. Now the first thing I'm going to do is with the roof planes, I wonder why the gutters are on. Probably had the roof's gutters shouldn't be on. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it having it on, but don't need that layer on. Gutters, yeah, that's what I don't need. Don't need that. I don't need that. Not showing on plan view anyway. Okay, here's the shed roof. You got that properly located. And I can tell because, get this dimension out of the way. Oh, there's another one. I'm going to delete that one. We don't need to. Okay, this little dashed line here with a perpendicular on it is the roof baseline, and it should be on the edge of the structural wall over which it bears, and that's correct. And I'm going to check the next roof planes. Yeah, it looks like that baseline's in the right place. I'm just checking. Now we need more overhang. So you got almost no overhang, so I'm going to just jerk this down. And we'll set it to 6 inches. That's a good, you could probably set it to less than that, but 6 inches, I'm just going to use that arbitrarily. And we'll check the other side. The other side, by that I mean the roof eave that overhangs, yeah, I'm going to set it to 6 inches too for uniformity. Now, I've already mentioned here on the second floor, you can't put this tub against the wall. With this kind of this bed can't be against that wall. Sorry. It could be against this wall, or you could spin it and put it around here. But it's not going to go against the outside wall because you don't have the headroom for it. And this bathtub can't go there. It's not going to work. So you're going to have to redesign some of this stuff so that it does work. Move that over there. Might work against this wall, but it can't be too close to the exterior wall. For the same reason this tub can't be there. I mean, you just got to figure out something else for this area. Let me just show you a cross section through the bathroom. And so this tub here can be, I guess, that close, but it can't be flat against the wall because there is no wall there. It's just the roof is actually defining the walls in the second floor in this kind of house design. So, like the beds, these beds can't be close to the exterior wall. Sorry, it's not going to work. So we'll have to shove them over here somewhere. I'll leave that sort of thing up to you, but I think I've made it clear that the beds and fixtures can't be on the exterior walls because there's no headroom for it. It may ruin your plans and so forth, but that's part of what a designer does, is especially with this software where it's 3D and you can actually figure out such things. Let's take a look at this master bedroom with the bed on the other side. You can see there's the roof, which actually forms the ceiling, and it's going to be a little tight. You probably want to do the bed 90 degrees to where I have it, so you have plenty of headroom over the bed. Probably a configuration like this would be more workable. I don't know if you can get it in the center of the room or not. By the way, these dashed lines that show up, that's where the flat of the ceiling meets the angle of the roof. That's what those lines. They're on a layer called ceiling break lines. Ceiling break lines. If you don't want to see them, you can just turn that layer off, but you can't otherwise select them and so forth. Let's take a look at to the master bedroom again. Yeah, you got flat ceiling here, and then it's angled up here. With these roofs, the way you have them currently set, you could actually raise the ceiling on the second floor if you wanted to. It's just more air that your heating and cooling equipment has to account for, but that's up to you as a designer and a homeowner. So let's look at an overview again. Haven't even thought about. Okay, it's beginning to look better. Now, how do you, I think one of your questions is like this roof here, you've got it set at 612. I think that's too steep. 412 ought to be fine. You may be up in snow country, and that may be a consideration, but I think that looks a little better. There's nothing wrong with 6, but I think 4 is a little bit better. Now, how do you do, one thing I noticed, and something a new person probably wouldn't notice it, is this white thing sticking down. That's coming from the roof. That's another default setting that you missed. You go here to structure, and excuse me, you've got the rafters set at by 2 by 10s, which you need to be a structural engineer to be certain about that. But this software, when the rafters are set thicker than the fascia, see the fascia here is set to, where is the fascia? 7 1/4, and the rafters 2 inches thicker. I'm just going to set that down to 2 by 6s. And you'll see that that white thing, well, it didn't disappear, but because of the extreme angle. But what if you want to get rid of that altogether, then you just have to cheat, and we'll make the, oh, I see, I thought I'd done that, but I guess it didn't take. I see, it was on the other roof plane. Structure. I'm just going to cheat and make that really narrow because of the angle of the roof. Here we go, I got rid of it. Now what I would do, see the fascia I didn't change, but the rafters I changed. And, that's only important if you're going to make a framing cross section or something like that, which I rarely do. I'm going to do a cross section camera this way to show you what I'm going to do. Now, in the other model that you showed me, I'm going to use the break line tool and notch out the roofs on either end. Put a break here. We'll just rough this in, and then I can raise, whoops, then I can raise this up like that, and let the software will fill in this area and leave the roof hanging down. Now I want to fix the roofs again. I just noticed that this end doesn't match the upper roofs, and they need to match in terms of the overhang. I don't care what you set it to, but they should match. Okay, this is beginning to, that's sticking in a little bit too far into that roof plane there. So what I want to do is click on this edge of this roof plane and tie it into, using the join roofs tool, into this roof plane. We'll get a nice, hopefully a clean, yeah, that's a little bit cleaner connect there, where the shed roof comes in. And you probably can't see what this is doing, but let me do an overview. Okay. And you'll see that's a little bit clean. It's more like the model that you showed in your original post. And we don't need to do it. That's just not going to work. I'm going to delete that. Sticking through the roof. But now the model's quite a bit more relationally correct, at least generally. There's some decisions that you need to make in terms of what you want to, moving forward, do with it. I remember in your model, this roof plane came down and overhung here and some other stuff, and that's not the way you sent it, so I'm not going to pursue that. But the difference between you and me is that I've spent years studying this software. I've read the reference manual several times, and take the time to really learn the software, and it'll make it a lot easier on you moving forward. That's my advice to you. Okay, hopefully this has been some utility and use to you. See, now the house makes more sense inside and out. Let me open this thing one more time. I think there's unnecessarily too much attic here. I would lower these roof planes down so that they break right here at the ceiling. There's no use spending the extra couple of $1,000s in framing to create this big attic that you're not going to use, or raise the ceilings on the first and second floor. But that's what a designer does, though, and take a look at it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Talk to you later.